Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of the Daily Life Uncut. So a couple of interesting things I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about today is that the tournament that I had last night for Magic the Gathering was absolutely amazing. Um, so a big shout out to Coliseum of Comics out in Kissimmee, downtown Kissimmee to be more specific. They did, I had a lot of fun. It was very informative, and I was able to get a better understanding of the game and how it works. And I got a bunch of pretty decent cards, or at least that's what I feel that they are. From it, I ended up walking away with about 200 cards, which I think is more than anybody walked away with. And the only reason why I did is because a lot of people didn't want they had doubles or they just didn't want, whatever amount of cards. And I was like, all right, I'll take them. So I walked away like a bandit, so to speak. So better understanding of what I had from this tournament is, you go in and you sign up, you pay $12. It varies depending on store and location and how many people in the tournament and how often the tournaments and stuff happen. But for the most part, it's about $12. So I went in there, paid that, signed up. Now with that, you get a card, which I am going to take out of my wallet right now. Sorry for all the moving. But I will not show you the number. But this card right here gives me a world ranking. Make sure if I did that correctly. Yeah, that card right there gives me a world ranking on the Wizards website. So that's very cool. It says earn achievements and rankings and customize your official membership card online. So that's pretty cool. I haven't checked it out to see what ranking. I'm pretty sure I've only won 2 games. So I can't necessarily say that I'm going to be, great at it or whatever the case may be. So with that said, I won 2 matches and I lost 2 matches. The first match, I gotta admit, was very easy to win because the fact of the guy that I fought had no idea what he was doing. And that's very fair to say. He had very little to no knowledge at all about what was going on around him and what cards to use and stuff like that. He ended up having 23, 24 land cards in his deck. And I just couldn't help but laugh at it. Like, why would you need so many land cards when it was a 40 card minimum and most people were playing with about 40 cards anyway? Not really many people jumped up any more than 40 cards. And since it was also a draft night, that night itself was really kind of just a learning or a kind of practice night, so to speak. See what type of decks you can build and see what kind of cards you can get throughout the night. And the top 4 winners out of the 4 rounds never actually got to go head to head, but they did win 7 booster packs. So that was really nice for each person to do that. Now, with that said, let's see how else to explain that, so to speak. Each booster pack is 15 cards. You get 1 rare, 1 foil, and 1 rare, 1 foil, 11 or 12, 12 monsters and 1 land. 11 monsters, 1 land, 1 magic card, which is just kind of like a rule card. So it's really only kind of 14 cards that you get. 13 if you don't include a land as a card. But by the time that you go to start a deck or start a game or something like that, you always have land cards out of any type of deck that you get. There's always a huge abundance, especially, core sets and starter kits and stuff like that I've noticed. So, okay. So throughout the night, me and Josh over at Happy Time Bros, we had such an amazing time. Go check out his video. We didn't get much chance to actually do anything inside because we didn't want to seem a little weird actually filming a game with people that we really didn't know. So there was no point to actually do that and be out of place already. I mean, we were probably the two biggest guys there, and when I mean biggest, I mean we were the most normal type people, because like when you think of a typical nerd, I just have to say it, I'm sorry. So when you see a typical nerd, you think of the very tall skinny guy that has a lot of hair on both his face and his head and his arms, and wearing t-shirts that are too small for his body, and basically anybody that's on King of the Nerds. That's really kind of your typical nerd look for the most part anyway. I felt out of place at first, but by the end of the night, I felt really comfortable, and I'm glad that, I was accepted. And that's a big part. I was accepted as a friend, a guest, and more importantly, as a competitor. Which, a couple people were surprised that this is the first type of tournament that I've had. I probably had the least amount of experience out of everybody there. The first person, like I said, that was the easiest victory of the night, for anybody for that matter, he said he'd been playing since December. Okay, now, as you're watching this video, it is May 2nd. So, here's my thing. I've been playing since about the beginning of April of 2015. So, I've had way less time than this guy to understand the game, to learn the game. I've played maybe 2 matches, 3 matches tops before I did this little tournament. And I was on the very last set of matches, and I almost beat the guy that I was going up against. I was very close to beating that guy. I had his life points down to 1. And then he had a card that I was not aware of that gave his 2 monsters that he had extra power, and then basically crushed me on the same move. It took my life points from 13 to 0. If you understand the game a little bit or any at all, there you go. So one thing that I did notice that is a very easy kind of starter guide to the game of Magic is going on the Xbox One or the PlayStation Store and buying the game Magic the Gathering, the 2015 edition. I've been looking it up, and I'm really considering buying it because it gives you kind of like a deal, so to speak. So everything in that game is digitally. You play it just like as if you're playing the real thing. And it kind of gives you the rules and the breakdown and what you can and can't do with cards and what mana cost you need and how to do things. So it's really interesting and informative game that I think I'm going to go ahead and do coming in the near future. Plus, I think it was only like $9.99 on the Xbox Store. So why not? $10, I get to learn better at a game, and at the same time, it is a fun hobby that I've picked up that I'm able to share with my friend Joshua Rush over at Happy Time Bros. Lately, we haven't had too many hobbies that we can actually sit down and talk about and share, except for like wrestling, and that's been the thing that we've been able to talk about for years. As ergo, the long vlogs that we had on the days that WrestleMania was here this last month ago. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but about a month ago. So with that said, we're going strong at almost 120 days. That makes me very happy. That's amazing. I can't believe that I've been able to keep up with these videos. I'm shocked, just like you guys are. But I'm glad that you guys are sitting through this long video, and I will talk to you guys more about things tomorrow, as I will have a very busy day because it is my 1-year anniversary. Planning on taking the wife out to a very good dinner. I will 100% vlog something of that. Just because it'll be interesting and funny to kind of just do it And I really need to start testing the waters about how to do that in public, so that way I feel more comfortable, as well as more open to actually do that, and so that way I could take you on these journeys instead of just talking about it behind the camera. So that's what we're looking forward to tomorrow. So check back for an amazing video tomorrow, as well as every day here on The Daily Life Uncut. Don't forget to also go over to Twitter and talk to me about everything The Daily Life, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. And as always, this is my journey.